What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Nerdwide podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Haynes, with my favorite friend, Mr. Chris Rivers, over here to my right. Chris, how have you been? How was the Super Bowl?
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, I didn't have a rooting interest really.
I didn't either.
Um, I would have been, I would have been fine with the Bengals winning because they've never done it.
Yeah.
But the Rams won, and Jalen Ramsey's from Nashville, so I was like, oh, cool, he's gonna get a ring.
Yep. Matthew Stafford finally getting one after being with
Yeah,
Detroit for so many years.
the organization I could care less about because they beat my Titans
Right.
20 plus years ago in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I thought it was, as a Steelers fan, the Bengals losing, it was just icing on the cake because their fans are terrible. I said it. So
I will say this: the officiating in this game left a lot to be desired.
that was, I have no idea what they were doing. Like the whole three-fourths of the game, nothing. All game long, nothing. And then
Yeah,
right there at the end of the game, just flag central. And
yeah,
I could not understand any of it.
yeah. People were I saw a couple of folks point out, which I thought it was interesting too. We've never had a team make the Super Bowl when it was played in their home stadium until the last 2 years.
And with the Buccaneers and
Yeah, Brady leaves New England and does it in his first year in Tampa and wins. And then the Rams get it in LA, a market that the league was really wanting to get back into for a long
mm-hmm,
time, and they win it all.
something, it's rigged. I'm just going to say it's rigged. I really enjoyed the halftime show. Like really enjoyed the halftime show, and then of course all of the trailers. One of which we're going to talk about um, here during the show, which of course is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because there's a lot to talk about in that one, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what the ratings are on the halftime show. Cause
It targeted a certain generation
yeah,
and people, I guess.
I heard a lot of praise for it. I also heard a lot of folks saying that they would have liked rock and roll to be on the halftime show.
Yeah,
And
they've
I was
had their
like,
years. They've had their what 50
yeah,
plus years. So
yeah, yeah. But I get it. They're wanting to switch it up. You're in
hmm
Southern California, and the biggest thing to come out of Southern California in the last 30 plus years was that generation of rap and hip hop.
oh,
So
it was excellent. If only Tupac would have came back around.
if he would have, that would have probably cleared the
That
place
would have
out.
been, yeah, that would have been the time to do it.
That's a good segue into a later discussion about trailers and so forth.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Guys, this is the Nerdwide Podcast, episode 58. Quick housekeeping before we get into it. Don't forget to subscribe to either our YouTube or podcasting services of your choice. If you enjoy the show, make sure you leave us a thumbs up on YouTube or give us a good rating on whatever podcasting app you're using, including Spotify. If you don't enjoy what you see or hear, make sure you leave us a comment and let us know how we can improve this show. As always, if you can go to extra mile, you can always go to patreon.com/nerdwide. Give us a couple dollars there that way for a couple different tiers if you want to do so. But Chris, I have to know when we get into our TV section here, have you watching anything fun, anything interesting?
Outside of the Super Bowl, not really. I've been trying to get caught up on some of the YouTube channels I sub to. I at one point was 16 days behind.
That's a little much.
Yeah, so I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. Super Bowl was the only thing I really watched this week. We finished up the Below Deck season, which was great. Bachelor we're caught up on, which is uh, absolutely crazy and probably the most dramatic season yet. And I think that's it as far as TV that I've been watching. I haven't really done a whole lot of anything this week. It's been a little busy.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about something here. Peacemaker episode 7. Stop dragging my heart around. Of course, full spoilers for this one. I really enjoyed this episode. A lot of plot twists did not see coming.
Yeah.
We had two major deaths. Again, did not see coming. And the I'm trying to think of my favorite. Oh, excuse me. I really enjoyed White Dragon's suit, minus the helmet. It was very Iron
Yeah.
Man-ish, but it was very high tech and um, very cool Iron Man looking, if you ask me.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder though, you know. Of course, Robert Patrick, great actor.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but in character,
Plays a great racist.
yeah. I actually saw an interview that he did, and he said that's one thing that makes it so easy to play a part like this is when it's so far from what you really are,
Mm.
because you're able to just go for it.
Right.
It's, I guess, the closer a character is to you, it's more like revealing a part of yourself that you don't want to, you you would rather perform and not just be wide open to an audience.
Right.
Um,
He
but
put on a performance, all right, the
it's
whole
funny
season.
that this it's funny that this character of his couldn't get a decent haircut, but he can design all these high tech things,
Right. Makes you think, doesn't it?
especially in the mullet days. That was just
Yeah.
that was terrible.
Well,
Um,
and
Go ahead.
we see the what happened with Peacemaker and his brother back in the day. They were put in a little fight ring,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he told him to hit him, and then he hits him enough, and he hits his head on a rock. His older brother does, and the dad gets pissed off at him.
yeah.
I'm like, he's just doing what you told him to do. I mean,
You're the one that put your kids in a fight club.
yeah,
Like,
I don't understand why you're so upset. Oh man.
uh, but yeah, the suit, it did look a little goofy with the mask
Yeah.
that that he wore. But the abilities and everything that he had were cool.
They looked really cool. Like when he uses little arm blasters or whatever you want to call them.
Uh huh.
That looked
Yeah.
really cool with the special effects of the yellow and gold and everything on it. I was really
Uh.
enjoying that. This episode, Mern gets killed, and Mern's butterfly gets killed as well. We also found out that the butterflies keep the memories of their host. They just slowly
Right.
over time get the memories. And I was not expecting Mern to die at all,
Hmm.
and especially not expecting his butterfly to die
Yeah.
because he got shot. The butterfly comes out, and then he gets just absolutely crushed.
When
So
he got shot, I thought, oh, they're gonna do the deal where the butterfly, um, someone on the team sacrifices themselves
mm-hmm.
to take the butterfly so that they can continue on with the mission, but they didn't do it that way.
No,
So,
they made Harcourt the quote unquote leader of this little ragtag group, and all the secrets are out. We know that Adebayo, excuse me, did the journal.
diary.
We found out that she's the daughter of Amanda Waller, and we had a lot of reveals this episode. And then, I mean, with the ending of it, with um, Chris killing his dad, or
Hmm.
Peacemaker, whatever you want to call him, killing his dad at the end was. I was like, okay, I cared more about that story than I do about this whole cow aspect. I feel like, to me at least. And they wrapped it up, and I'm like, okay, so now we're gonna wrap up the cow thing and go from there. So
We've only got what, one
yeah,
episode
next
left,
week.
so it's gonna be interesting, and there's they still look like they're working towards the Harcourt Peacemaker
Mm-hmm.
tandem.
Relationship.
Um, I thought they were gonna kill Vigilante
Oh yeah, because he almost
because
died.
he took damage
Yeah,
big time. Um, and I don't know, he may still, who knows? He may
he.
still die.
I like his character a whole lot still, and
Hmm.
he's definitely more badass than Peacemaker is at this point.
Yeah.
Because his fight scenes in this episode were really cool, really well done. We see what's his name? God, beard face, fake beard face. Um,
Diebeard.
Economos Diebeard. See him mow down a lot of racists, and that was very
Yeah.
fun to watch. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, there we go, thank you. That's what they deserve. Um, Eagly gets hurt. I was like, no, you're not killing Eagly off because I thought he was about to die. Yeah, but no, we're good.
Uh, and oh gosh, I'm forgetting his name. The martial arts uh,
Judo master.
judo master. He keeps stepping up.
I know. The
It's
clerk
like,
in at the little gas station, a little
yeah,
convenience store was so funny.
yeah. But I wonder how much money they got from Cheetos or Lay's or whoever it is that
Right.
makes
They
Cheetos.
had to pay them or
Yeah,
sponsor
a
them or
lot.
something. Because in every scene with Judo Master is eating those chips or Cheetos, and it's just so
Yeah.
funny. He's gonna. Oh, I keep forgetting. He's gonna come into play next episode too, at the cow, because he's gonna want
Yeah.
revenge.
Yeah.
And
And what about the cow?
that was
That is
disgusting.
a
Disgusting.
creepy looking cow.
Is it the same cave system that they were in at the second or third episode with the senator? Because
Probably.
it looks like the same cave system. I'm like, well, there was a whole cow y'all didn't see that whole time, but it's so
Yeah.
gross. It's gonna be a wild episode. I
All
can't
these
wait.
eyeballs all
Yeah,
over.
it's just juicy looking, pussy looking.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. Next week is episode 8 and the finale of Peacemaker season 1, and I'm excited. I don't know where the show's going to go, but I would like a season 2 of this. I really like
Mhm.
our cast and crew we have here. I really enjoy what we're watching.
Didn't we get confirmation, because I'm old and I forget these things, that they are going to explore someone else on the team?
Yes. I don't know about on the team.
From Suicide Squad.
Yeah, from Suicide Squad they are.
Yeah.
They're in the talks right now, and they'd be dumb not to, honestly.
Yeah. I'm still kind of hoping for TDK, the
Oh,
Nathan Fillion's
yeah.
character,
I would
just
really,
because I enjoy the stuff he does.
yeah. We like him around here. Superman and Lois, still no episode. We still have another week this week until it comes back on. So, we'll get there.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah. Notable news this week. Obi-Wan Kenobi gets an official release date of May 25th on Disney Plus. Really excited about that one. We're going to see a lot of fun things from it. And then news story wise, Reacher renewed for season 2 at Amazon. I'm going to deadline.com by Peter White for this one. Jack Reacher is returning. Amazon has renewed Alan Richardson's fronted action drama series Reacher for a second season already, Chris. They just came out last week, or 2 weeks ago. The fast turnaround renewal comes 3 days after the streamer launched the Lee Child adaptation. Okay, 3 days after, excuse me. Amazon said that Reacher ranked in its top 5 most watched series ever in the US and globally over a 24-hour period, though it's worth noting that all 8 episodes of the series launched at once. The company added that it was also amongst its highest rated original series, with subscribers giving it an average 4.7 out of 5 stars. I have Alan Richardson did an AMA on Reddit this past week, and he was saying, like, of all the praise, he's a big Jack Reacher fan anyways. He said he's read all the books. He's really excited to bring more of that story in there. I mean, this dude put on, I think it was an extra 20 pounds of muscle for this role.
Yeah.
And he was already a big dude.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he said it's just so much fun playing it because it's so book accurate. And a lot of people are reviewing it and saying that it is the most book accurate TV show that's been made in a long time. So, and I'm like, I am all for book accurate film. So,
Yeah.
I need to check. I still need to watch it because I really like him. And they also in that AMA, Chris asked if Hawk would be returning, and he says, I haven't heard anything yet. He says, but I am open to it. So, which is what everyone always says about anything.
You'd have to have someone who could put the pieces back together.
Yeah, because I don't even know if there's any pieces to put back together at this point. Number 2, Futurama has been revived for a 20-episode run on Hulu. I'm going to a Hollywood Reporter by Leslie Goldberg. Nearly 10 years after it signed off, Futurama has been revived for a 20-episode run on Hulu, the third platform for the animated comedy from creators Matt Groening and David X. Cohen. The series that aired its first 5 seasons on Fox before being revived for 3 more at Comedy Central will return to production this month for a 2023 premiere. Following an extended deal-making period, original stars Billy West, Katie Seagal, along with the ensemble players who voiced multiple characters, Tress MacNeille, Maurice LaMarche, Lauren Tom, Phil Lamar, and David Herman will all return. Here's the kicker. John DiMaggio, who provided the voice behind the wisecracking robot with the shiny metal ass Bender, is finalizing a deal to return as well, although it is not yet closed. So from what I have heard, though, is that he was not returning as Bender. And he took on Twitter. Everyone on Twitter was boycotting the show because they were like, how do you have, there's a trio of main characters, and how do you not have one of them have the same voice?
Right.
Like, they were going to have someone else play Bender, and it wasn't just a publicity stunt to get people talking about it. Maybe. Will they ever premiere that show without him? No. Realistically, no. So, we'll see what happens, though. Something to keep your eye on.
No one cares, though, that Chris Pratt is going to do Mario without the accent.
Yeah. He's going to do his own take. Yeah, no one's talking about it, though, right? Releases this week, Friday, February 18th, Space Force Season 2 comes to Netflix. And Sunday, February 20th, The Walking Dead's last season and last run kicks back off. I think they did half a season, and the last half comes back on Sunday. Again, one of those shows I feel like everybody has fallen off of. And so I'm curious to see where that goes.
That'll be one of those that people will that have already dropped off. They'll binge watch it at some point, and that's when they'll see these last couple seasons.
Yeah, whenever it comes to Netflix.
Yeah. All right, on to film. And have you watched anything outside of our normal release?
Nothing this week. I wanted to watch some things, just never really got around to it, but no, just our movie.
Yeah, with work like it was, I couldn't. I've got 5 days off coming up.
So Are you off this week?
I go back to work tonight.
Okay.
And tomorrow night, and then I'm off from Wednesday to Sunday.
Oh, awesome! I'm off all of next week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm excited.
So I'll get caught up on some stuff then. So our movie this week was the Netflix action film. I guess you'd say it's action. It's got some action to it.
Mm-hmm.
Army of Thieves. This is the prequel to Army of the Dead. It's really only a prequel, though, for one character. I'm wondering, I haven't heard anything about this, but I'm wondering if they'll do prequels for other characters from the film.
I'd be okay with it.
So this follows Dieter, who's the safecracker. We learn his real name is Sebastian something that nobody
very
can
pronounce.
And he gets recruited for this job to basically try and crack all the safes from Hans Wagner. Now, I sort of took issue with the way he was recruited. So we found out that he's making YouTube videos about safe cracking or safe cracking history.
Mm-hmm.
And Gwendolyn, who is his recruiter basically, and she's really the leader of the team.
Yeah.
Regardless of what Brad thinks. Brad's like the action movie guy, right? Thinks he's a hero, and thinks he's the leader of the team. She recruits him by just leaving a comment on one of his videos for everybody to see.
Right. For anybody that could see it.
Yeah. And I know it's from an account she made just for the sake of leaving that comment, but still.
Yeah,
it's right out.
The name was Locksmith. XXX Locksmith XXX.
Yeah. And then it was basically, how would you like to put your skills to use?
Right.
And where to meet her. And what password to use to get into this building.
Right.
It's like, what?
Yeah. Anybody can use it.
Yeah. Just show up. We don't care. So I kind of took issue with that. So Brad is on the team. He's basically the muscle,
Yeah.
if you will. Gwendolyn is she's really the brains in in the sense of being in the field. She's a martial artist. We find out. Um, she's also pretty good with firearms.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm drawing a blank. Tyler, why do I do this?
It happens. Karina.
On Karina.
Yeah.
Yeah. Karina's the tech of the team. And then is it Rolf?
Rolf. Yeah, Ralph is how I.
He's
But they're overseas. It's
he's the he's the getaway driver
yeah.
who apparently can drift in anything. Um, it's an interesting movie. It's the a lot of the danger that you would normally have in this film, especially for a character we already know,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a prequel, is thrown out the window because you know he's going to survive
Right.
because he has to go into the events of Army of the Dead. Um, they're really good performances. It was the action was there. Uh, there was a lot of time showing him crack the safes.
Yeah, there was. To me, that's one of the slower parts of the movie, especially the first save,
Yeah.
where because I think there was two dials on it, and they went painstakingly slow through the
Hmm.
cracking of that part. The other ones were not as bad, but they were still bad
Yeah.
and just very slow for it to happen. I understand that's what the whole concept of the movie was, but yeah, those parts were really, really slow.
Well, and he does this thing where he'll put his hand right,
Mm-hmm.
right up onto the safe, and it's like he can see inside.
Yeah,
It's like he has some ability to see the mechanisms. Um, I'm sure it's supposed to be that he's seen the blueprints for these,
mm-hmm.
so
Because he's been
he's
studying them his whole life. So
right. So he's recalling it, but the way that if you're not if you're casually watching the movie, it looks like he can put his hand on this thing and he can see the
see into it.
mechanisms and yeah,
Yeah,
and it's just I don't know. I didn't feel like they did enough with the Interpol agents.
yeah. The
Um,
Delacroix.
yeah, and you know we find out Brad shot him in the leg in a previous encounter.
Shot his flask,
Um,
and somehow he's still wounded from that.
well, he says leg, but there's a scene early on where it first gets mentioned, and you first see the flask, and you hear his partner behind mention, you know, that, like someone says to her, I hear he got shot," and she goes, "In the ass,"
Yeah,
you know, and it's like, oh, so it wasn't a leg,
right.
you know,
Has to
but
make it sound more cool.
yeah, I I don't know. This was a it was a fun watch. I mean, it wasn't boring. You know, like I said, the parts with the safes kind of
Hmm.
dragged it down a little bit. I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd. It's kind of like middle of the road.
Yeah.
I'd watch it again, especially if I was gonna watch Army of the Dead, but I wouldn't go out of my way. I mean,
Mm.
it's a good movie,
Right.
but it's nothing. I feel like it could have been better.
Not one of those rewatchable ones where you just have to go back and rewatch it.
Right.
So for me, Chris, this is going to shock a lot of people. I gave it 4.5 stars on Letterboxd. I really
Mm.
enjoy these National Treasure esque um, history kind of movies like this.
Mhm.
And then I think the safes were the biggest issue for me. And I've talked about it with other movies we've done prequels of. There's no, like Black Widow, there's no real, oh, are they going to make it kind of thing? Because
Right.
we know he's alive. The
Yeah.
thing that was getting me was, well, what happened to Gwendolyn? Why isn't she ever talked about in the movie? Well, she might be talked about in Army of the Dead. And it's to the point where I want to rewatch it again because I want to
Mm-hmm.
see if he mentions any of this stuff because he's already cracked three of the safes. And then
Right.
the big safe that's in Vegas that he has to crack, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one,
Yeah.
is the final one. And I want to see if there's any mentions to it, which I'm sure there are because Zack Snyder generally knows what he's doing. But
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. The little zombie scenes and then the talk about the premonitions because in spoiler alert in Army of the Dead he dies by
Right.
zombies. Well, quote unquote. We don't ever see the death, but we assume.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I thought that was fun. The slow scenes for me too were the house where everyone's getting to know each other and the drinking games and stuff. I thought that was a little bit of a slow part, but I thought it was funny. We saw him just living a normal bank teller life, and
Mm-hmm.
then we see Gwendolyn come into the scene. How excited he was! He had a view and comment on his YouTube videos,
Right.
and their relationship was a lot of fun to watch. And I really enjoyed Matthias Schweighöfer, the actor that plays Dieter, and how he
Mm-hmm.
got his Ludwig Dieter name, and his name's really Sebastian, and that kind of lore. But I really enjoyed the national treasure aspect to it. Like as he was cracking the safes, he was telling the story of why he
Mm-hmm.
made the safes the way he did and how he could crack them. And I thought it was very cool because when he was real young, we saw him cracking a normal safe and how he could
Right.
hear things. Like he could hear down the hallway. He hears what's going on all over the world. Well, not really the world, but the street and stuff like that. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, I've got real sensitivity to sounds like that, and my wife hates it. But because chewing just absolutely gets on my nerves. If I'm not,
Yeah.
it's really weird. It's really neurotic actually. But I really enjoyed this one. I gave it a 4.5 on Letterboxd, and I again I'm with you. I kind of want to watch Army of the Dead again just to kind of follow up on his story. And if Zack Snyder wanted to do another prequel for any of the other characters, I would be all in because
Yeah.
I like the way they did this. And if you would have asked me after we watched Army of Thieves, Army of the Dead, if I would have wanted to watch a prequel for the Safecracker, I would have said no. But now that we watched it, I'm like, yeah, that was great. I want more.
Yeah. We should say too that they end the movie with the scene where he gets recruited
Yep.
by Batista, and I'm not even going to pretend that I remember
I don't remember her
his
characters.
or his partner's
Yeah.
character's name. Um,
Because that was directly
but
from the movie. They just put it into the end of it.
yeah, yeah, they just lifted it out. Um, but now, because of how this one ends, you do really want to know, like, okay, well, what's going on with Gwendolyn?
Mm-hmm. Because
You know,
she's not going to be. Because I mean, he said he was gonna crack the safe for her,
right?
and they were supposed to do it together and all this other stuff. Well, here we are.
But supposedly she's locked up.
Yeah.
So will she get out and find out that he's dead?
Right in
If he's
there.
dead,
Yeah. Because they got nuked, right? Vegas. I don't
hmm
remember. I think it did. So I mean,
but he was underground.
yeah, he could have been in the safe.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot that could happen. You know what I mean?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, maybe they'll make something else. Maybe they'll do a sequel.
Right.
Um, I'm kind of like you. I wouldn't have said going in that this was a character I wanted to see a prequel built around. But, you know, I it worked. I'm just wondering if they go with another character, you know, is there one that they would be better served going with? Because you kind of get Batista's character's backstory throughout Army
Mm-hmm.
of the Dead. Um, but yeah, I'd have to watch it again to see which character I would want to know the most about.
Yeah. Because I don't remember any of them anymore at this point besides
No,
Batista.
that's been what's it been like a year, year and a half?
Mm-hmm. I think that was 2020, wasn't it?
Probably.
I don't even
Yeah.
remember. It's
Uh,
time. The past 2 years have been weird.
yeah, very much so. Um, so next week we're going to review Sweet Girl, which is also on Netflix, which is stars Jason Momoa.
I'm so excited.
So that'll be interesting.
It's gonna be good.
There's been some good stuff around that one though. So we both were kind of like, hey, we've heard the name.
Mm-hmm.
All right, on to the news. IGN. This comes from Adam Bankhurst. Says Jackass Forever stunts its way to a domestic weekend box office victory over Spider-Man No Way Home. Uh, and then underneath that, Moonfall placed second with 10.1 million.
I've heard that movie is hot garbage.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the trailers looked good.
Yeah, I've everyone that I've heard that's seen it in the reviews are not good. Like they said,
Yeah.
it is one of the worst disaster movies ever made.
So wait for streaming.
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
would not even attempt that one.
Jackass Forever has dethroned Spider-Man No Way Home at the domestic weekend box office by earning 23 million in ticket sales during its opening weekend. As reported by Variety, Jackass Forever, which once again brings together Johnny Knoxville, Steve-O, Wee Man, Chris Pontius, Dave England, Danger Aaron, and Preston Lacey, and sees them undertaking outrageous stunts that no one should try at home, has more than doubled its production budget of $10 million.
We're getting more. I'm just gonna say it. We are going to get more.
I do wanna point out though, while this is, it's always good to be the one that knocks off a major movie.
Mm-hmm.
They do note here later, Spider-Man No Way Home, which had won 6 of the last 7 box office weekends, which means it's been out 2 months now,
Yeah.
people.
It's still being number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that something knocked it off, okay, it's
It
it's
happens.
it's had a nice run.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, good news for Johnny Knoxville, good news for the Jackass team, and I think we touched on was it last week where you said you think they're just going to transition to
Mm-hmm.
the younger guys, and
Yeah. Which I'm all
so
for. I love the Jackass series.
yeah, we'll see if they do it. I don't know. The the medical issues are piling up for those
Oh
older
yeah, no,
guys.
Johnny Knoxville got a brain bleed on one of the
Yeah,
stunts. I mean, and they showed him in the hospital and getting out of the hospital, and like he had to learn how to walk again. Like he was slow to walk and all this other stuff. Like he got injured, and
yeah,
it's very obvious which one it is in the movie. So
yeah.
it was rough.
From Variety, this comes from Brent Lang. Russell Crowe joins Spider-Man spinoff Craven the Hunter. Um, it says the Gladiator star has joined the cast of Craven the Hunter in an unspecified role. Aaron Taylor Johnson is starring in the title role as one of Spider-Man's most deadly antagonists. Of course, Aaron Taylor Johnson, the MCU's Quicksilver,
Mm-hmm.
who wasn't quick enough. Um,
Apparently.
so this is it's good for them. I think it's good for them to get someone of Russell Crowe's
Mm-hmm.
caliber for the movie. Um, don't know who he's potentially going to play. Obviously, it's not Craven.
No. Everyone's saying like it
So,
might be Craven's dad or something like that. I'm not very familiar with the Spider-Man villain Craven the Hunter. I know,
right.
most things, but I don't know the
You know the
lore
basics.
behind them all.
Right. Uh, Finally, new Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness trailer dropped, and it's time for all the Easter eggs. Tyler, you
Listen,
got this
if
lined
you
up.
don't want to know anything about, if you're trying to go in blind to Doctor Strange, you might want to skip past this. But there are a lot of things in this trailer. The biggest thing to me is Patrick Stewart's voice and him rolling up in a chair. All you see is a silhouette, but it is for sure someone rolling up in a wheelchair. And it says, it's time to tell him the truth. And the scene that kind of sets it up looks like the Illuminati from the comics. So the Illuminati's got, like Doctor Strange, not Doctor Strange, Charles Xavier, I think Black Black Panther is one of them. I know Tony Stark is. Reed Richards is a part of the Illuminati. So in the comics, the Illuminati they kind of control, not really control things, like they just kind of pull the strings, but each one of them also guards an Infinity Stone. Like that is their charge, is to hold the stone. So, but that's what it looks like. That's what everyone's saying, is it's definitely the Illuminati. So we have that, which is finally getting a tie-in to X-Men, and I mean that's a perfect way to do it. And you can have Wanda's dad, who is really Magneto, in there somehow, which a lot of people are saying in one of the scenes she does her hand like Magneto does his hand. And I'm like, okay, I can see that, but it's a little bit of a stretch. It's just a hand movement. But in the teaser trailer we talked about before we started recording, I saw a teaser trailer, and I could not find it anywhere when I was actually looking for the trailer, because I've watched the trailer maybe 5-6 times now. And it showed Wanda and Doctor Strange as their what-if zombie forms. And so I thought I was going crazy, thought I was dreaming it, but I Googled it, and it was the teaser trailer is what I watched. And you definitely see them, and we also see the what if in this trailer, as well as the trailer in No Way Home. We saw the evil Doctor Strange, or the dark Doctor Strange, which is also from What If. So I mean, we've got a lot of what if tie-ins here, and I cannot wait for this movie. Like, this trailer's got me more excited, but now I'm to the point now with like No Way Home, I don't want any more trailers. Do not show me anything else. We know Loki's in the movie, but we haven't seen him or even mentioned. So it's time for us to go in blind now. We've got 3 months till it comes out. So
there's also speaking of What If, there's an image of the poster, and they claim that you can see Captain Carter's shield. And as you pointed out before the show, it could be America Chavez's logo.
I think it's her little jacket logo thing. But I mean, either or. But if they did that, though, Chris, I know you of all people have been really excited for that to happen.
Yeah. Now, there have been all sorts of rumors about this person or that person being brought in to play this character or that character. Fans want Chris Evans back to make a cameo as Johnny Storm. There's been rumors that I don't know how valid they are, that they may, if they need a representation from another universe of Tony Stark, that Tom Cruise might be brought in. Which if we see all of the Illuminati from another universe, maybe we get him in a cameo.
Right.
But who we get is going to be, it wasn't that long ago. It was probably when this movie was, it might have been around the time this movie was actually filming. There was a photo that got shared out on social media by Hugh Jackman of he and Kevin Feige. And I don't think he's not going to be your Wolverine for the MCU. But could he pop up in this?
Yeah, I mean, he could cameo. I mean, if they're going to have Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier, then you can easily have him pop up.
And we also don't know how long the multiverse situation's going to last. We're supposed to get She-Hulk this year. We know that the Hulk and Wolverine had their battles. Could we see a little glimpse of something there with him popping up? Who knows? We know Mark Ruffalo is going to be in that show.
Yeah.
So
it's I'm curious to see what all happens with this one, because anytime you deal with the multiverse, anything could happen. As we saw with Spider-Man No Way Home, anything is on the table. Anything and everything. Especially with Disney buying Fox and having all the rights to all their stuff now.
Right. I kind of wonder if we'll get, with it being the multiverse, will we get a Lou Ferrigno?
Oh, see, I want all of it. I want every appearance of everybody in one movie, but done well. I mean, they know what they're doing, so.
Right. All right. Well, as far as releases this week, in cinemas on the 18th, we're gonna get Uncharted. So
I'm gonna wait to watch that.
when it
Probably,
streams,
yeah. I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna watch it. It's just not. It doesn't look that great to me. And
yeah,
I'll see what reviews say about it. But so far, I'm like, eh,
I think the special effects are really good
yeah,
from what we can see. But yeah, you know, probably safer that way on
yeah.
a streaming service. Speaking of streaming services, on Netflix, also on February 18th, one of Tyler's favorites. I know this is at the top of his
I've
list,
seen the
the
first one.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I've seen the original.
The original
Mm,
original or the one with was it Jessica Biel
I think it's the original. Original is the one I watched.
from the 1970s?
Yeah. So I am. I think for we need to put this on our list because I would have loved to watch this during our October watch-alongs.
Okay.
So because it's not really scary. It's just one of those thriller, psychotic thrillers. Because I mean, Leatherface is a very demented man that wears the skin of his victims. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. And it's supposed to be like a sequel. So, did you know why not?
Yeah, why not? Well,
uh,
hey, look at it this way. The people he kills, he makes use of most of them.
yeah, he just recycles them. That's not a
Yeah,
big
they
deal.
probably eat the meat and
Yeah.
then he just wears the skin.
I mean, he's just doing his part for the environment.
He's he's trying to stay warm too,
Right.
you know.
You been playing any games this week? Anything fun? Anything new?
I dipped back into Valhalla a little bit. Uh, but no, that's basically it this week.
I've been played a little bit more Dying Light 2, chipping away at it before Horizon Forbidden West comes out this week,
Hmm.
and the week after that's Destiny's expansion, and so I've the next week. So when we record the next episode, I will have played and had a lot of fun with Horizon Forbidden West, and I can't wait to talk about it. I'm not going to finish it. I don't want to rush it, but
Hmm.
Destiny's
Right.
expansion will be coming out that Tuesday, and I will be playing Horizon Forbidden West a lot. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Notable news this week. Only thing I've got here is Assassin's Creed expansion will reportedly become a standalone game. Go to Polygon.com by Nicole Carpenter for this one. Ubisoft is pivoting a planned Assassin's Creed Valhalla expansion into its own standalone game, according to a Bloomberg report. The game is currently being called Rift internally and was originally slated as an expansion to 2020's Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's expected to star Basim as an assassin that appeared in Valhalla. Bloomberg reported that the new standalone game, slated for release in late 2022 or 2023, will be smaller than recent games, turning away from the large open world and instead, quote, focusing more on stealth and gameplay. So to me, it sounds like it's trying to go back to its root. I'm not going to read the end of the story because for people who have not beat the game on this podcast, I don't want to spoil anything for it. But I am excited because if they're going back to like the Assassin's Creed roots, which was my biggest issue with some of the
Right.
games, like you just leave out the assassins. So I'm really
Hmm.
excited about that part, and I can't wait, especially if it comes out this year.
I like too that it is standalone.
Yeah,
Um, instead of another expansion
yeah.
on this already lengthy game,
Well, we already getting
you know.
the next expansion in March.
Yeah.
That I can't. I'm gonna go right back into Assassin's Creed Valhalla on. So, notable new releases this week: Call of Duty Season 2 releases today, February 14th. Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires comes out on everything February 15th, and then of course the big one for PlayStation 4 and 5, Horizon Forbidden West, February 18th. And I'm so excited. Oh, I
And
can't
he
wait.
just can't hide it.
I know my collector's edition should be coming in soon, and I've seen the box for it. I mean, it's a big box, and I was not
Hmm.
expecting that. So, comes in this week, and I'm going to play it. But guys, that has been the Nerdwide podcast for this week. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to share on all your favorite social media platforms, and forget to rate and review this podcast on your podcasting services. On Twitter, you can follow us at nerd_wide. You can follow me personally at Ty_Haynes, and you can follow Chris at MavTN7. If you're on Facebook, just search up nerdwide.com, and you can follow us and like us there, and every episode is posted there as well. But guys, thank you so much for watching this week's episode, and we cannot wait to talk to you next week, and after I have touched Horizon Forbidden West. We will see you guys then.
Later, guys.